We're back, guys, with the F122 Ferrari career mode, because of course we did jump ship from McLaren to Ferrari. We are here in Saudi Arabia, and we're looking to score some points. Last time out in Bahrain it was an absolute disaster. Retired, damaged the front wing, and then we drove straight into the back of some client at turn 1. But the Ferrari has got the pace this year. Of course, last year Charles Leclerc won the World Championship, so we're his teammate. What can we do though? As you can see in Q1 we're fastest, we move into Q2, we've got a great wee slipstream here of the Mercedes, so you know you've kind of got McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, similar pace this year, which is always good, as you can see. But George Russell, much better final corner than us, but what can we do heading up towards the line? George Russell does a 30.1, we go 8 times quicker and across the line as we move in to Q3, and as you can see we've now got the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who you think will be, in terms of another team's challenger, probably the biggest threat to Ferrari this year, but we run a wee bit wide there and it's cost us a bit of time, but we are crucially getting that straight line speed on Max Verstappen's. Alexander Albon goes for the fastest lap here with a 30.5, but we did 29.3 in the last session, so hopefully we can match that or do better in the final qualifying session. But the DRS is open for Verstappen, pulls away to the line, he goes fastest, 29.4, we do 28.9. Perez manages to get in there, so's Norris, and it's Verstappen, then it is Russell, Hamilton, and then Charles Leclerc, our teammate, man, fucking nowhere near the pace required to be at pole position. But I went with a risky strategy, guys. I started on the hard tyre knowing that it is just a bit of a DRS trade, and I thought in the second half of this race it probably would suit to be on the faster compound while but I didn't really take into the consideration that we're going to be pretty slow off the line, and we almost get jumped there by Sergio Perez, but we close the door and it's Perez, now Verstappen, who's crucially got past Lando Norris, but hopefully we can do a good job here as we move on the race. But as you can see, lap 2 we're beginning to pull that gap, because Verstappen and Perez were side by side, and Perez actually clipped his front wing and had to make an early pit stop. But as you can see, we're leading Verstappen, who's now in the DRS range, and he's closing as we go into turn 1. But thankfully with DRS on him, because we actually were side by side into the final corner. But Norris, Hamilton and Russell and Ricciardo and all battling. Well, Russell's actually with us, but Verstappen almost gets us, but we did a pretty good job. Moving on to lap 10, it's now both cars looking for a manoeuvre on us. We go defensive, force him to the inside, he's at the outside, now we'll now become the end, but there's just contact between all three, and we managed to hold on. But the hard tyres they're just not really that good, to be honest, man. But our teammate dives into the pit, so does Verstappen, so does Norris, so does Hamilton, so we've got to have a good in lap here. And as you can see, as we come out of the pit lane, there is Verstappen, we're on the mediums, he's on the hards. Mick Schumacher dives into the pits, so close, it couldn't have been much closer, coming out of the pit lane, and we manage to hang on to Verstappen. We run wide, and when we rejoin Verstappen, surely now we'll get the exit, as we are on cold tyres, and they just show the fucking no grit whatsoever driving here. And as you can see, we've locked up, we've ran wide yet again. Verstappen is right on our tail as we go on to a few more laps towards the end. But as you can see, guys, moving on to lap 21, we kind of hovered about the DRS zone, which really suited us. But moving on, we've got Sebastian Vettel trying to line up a move on the Williams, but Mick Schumacher is retired in the Haas, which I thought was going to bring out a safety car. Of course it would in the manager game, but in the actual game, in F1 though, we don't do safety cars late on. We can't finish the race under a safety car. I mean, I'd like it for a bit of realism, but Bottas had a car problem this race and he got lapped twice compared to everyone else's, and not once. But as you can see, we actually smash into the wall and lose our wing, but I thought, fuck it was the last lap. I was pushing for the fastest lap even though we already had it, so it was a risk worth taking. We flew around the first two sectors, but Verstappen 2.7 behind. As you can see though, we've got no wings, so it's obviously hard to steer the final corner, but you do gain a bit of advantage in terms of the straight line speed. But to the line, we managed to do a faster lap, 31.7. We were absolutely on fire. And as you can see, guys, we have won from Verstappen, from Norris, from Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Gasly, Magnussen, and Carlos Sainz getting a point in the Williams. That's a fantastic drive. Sergio Perez though, no points for him. We've bounced back in the standings, we've bounced back on the track. Been a very good race, guys, but until next time, peace.